Well, remember, digestive system is unit 2 in your book. Page number 42 and 43 is what we are going to see today. Pages 42 and 43 in your book. We're going to use the presentation, but almost everything that we're going to see in the presentation, you've got it in your book in those 2 pages. The first thing we're going to do is correct the activities that you had to do for today. Un poquito más grande. You had to do for today activities starting with 23. Was it 23, the first one? Confesad. Was it activity 23, the one that I asked you to do? I just wonder, yes or no. Dupe, yes. Yes. Ariadna, okay, so you can answer the first one. That is very easy. Why do you think that the small intestine is very long, Ariadna? If you could turn on your microphone, it's faster and not so boring for you if you activate your microphone and answer. But if you don't have microphone, you can write it down. Ariadna, why do you think that the small intestine is very long? What's your answer?
Yes, I have microphone.
Perfect. So why do you think that the small intestine is very long?
I think that is to have more surface.
Okay, to have more surface of
absorbing
absorption.
nutrients.
Perfect. Is in order to have more surface of absorption. Is it important whether the esophagus is long or short? No, it's not, because nothing is going to happen in the esophagus. It's just a tube joining the pharynx with the stomach. But this tube, the small intestine, is very important because it's where the absorption of nutrients is going to happen. Every organ here was working in order to get simple nutrients. Once you have these simple nutrients, you need to absorb them. You need to let them go to the bloodstream. So the longer the time that they pass in your intestine, the higher the amount of nutrients that you can absorb. So it's important that it's long, and it's also important that you increase the surface with folds. That's the first question. Why is it the small intestine very long? In order to have more surface of absorption. That will be the answer. Next one, that is question number 24, goes to Adrián, que estás aquí. Adrián, what does the liver make to help digestion? What is the mission of the liver related to digestion?
It produces gastric juices.
No, gastric juices is the stomach. It's going to produce a fluid, but what's the name of this fluid? Starting with B.
The bile.
The biles, okay? And the mission of this liquid is, that's more difficult. First of all, does it contain any enzyme, this liquid?
Yes.
That was a tricky question. The bile does not contain any enzyme. So is it going to do chemical digestion? No, because it doesn't contain enzymes. Then what is the mission? It's going to do one important verb, that is, any idea? ¿Alguien por ahí anyone that helps him? What is the biles going to do? What is the emulsify? Perfect. It emulsifies fats. Remember, emulsify is breaking big droplets into tiny droplets. So that is mechanical digestion, that is physical digestion, because you're breaking down something big into something small. So what does the liver make that helps digestion? Is what it's doing is bile that emulsifies fats, breaks big droplets of fats into tiny droplets of fats. And the last question, your liver makes a digestive juice that helps, se me ha ido. That helps, the first part was okay. That helps digest fats and some vitamins. Okay, well, especially digest fats. The reason for you to have vitamins is because some vitamins are lipids. Okay, that's why you've got these included. But it's just lipids, what you've got to write down. Okay, but it's okay, Diego. Produces a digestive juice, that is the biles, and helps digesting lipids or fats. The last one, why is cellulose present in feces? This question goes to Angel. Angel, why is cellulose present in feces? Why do we have cellulose here in the large intestine, included in our feces? Angel, don't you have a microphone? You don't, but you're going to write down short sentences, please, because we can digest it, okay? Because we can digest it. If you cannot digest substances, those substances that you cannot digest are going to be present in feces. Remember that we said, if you eat a marble, una canica, that marble cannot be digested and is going to be sent out in feces. The same thing happens with cellulose. We don't have enzymes that digest this cellulose. Herbivore animals, they have those enzymes in their digestive system because bacteria that do symbiosis with them produce these enzymes, but we don't have those bacteria that digest cellulose. So humans don't have these enzymes that digest cellulose, and therefore cellulose is going to be present in feces. That doesn't mean that cellulose is not helpful for me. I need cellulose in my diet, that is fiber, because it's going to help this peristaltic movement, so it's going to help me sending out feces, defecating. It's very important that you take enough fiber. It's going to be healthy for you, but you're not going to get any protein, any amino acid, any monosaccharide, any fatty acid. You're not going to get anything from cellulose. You're not going to get the monosaccharides that form cellulose as a molecule that gives you energy. No, because we are not able to break it. Cellulose is a polysaccharide and we are not able to break it. We've got enzymes to break down starch, which is a polysaccharide, but not to break down cellulose. Okay, that's very important. Question number 26 was not part of your homework, but we can do it because it's a very easy one. And I'm going to have the last one in the list doing this one. The last one in the list is, a ver quién es el último. Today is Rodrigo. Rodrigo, do you have your microphone to answer the question, or you prefer to write it down? Bueno, vamos aquí. Rodrigo, look at this simple diagram, this one, of this digestive tube. In which part does protein digestion first occur? Where does it happen, this protein digestion, Rodrigo? ¿Está escribiendo Rodrigo o no? Rodrigo, buenos días. ¿Sabes que estamos contigo? You don't know where protein digestion starts, okay? We're going to start. We're going to ask someone else help. Maria, what about you? Do you know where? What is the first part of your digestive tube that is going to do the digestion of proteins? Maria. Do we have any digestion of proteins in the mouth? Maria is not active either. In the small intestine, well, we're going to have digestion of proteins in the small intestine, but it's not the first part. The first part of the digestive tube that is going to do digestion of proteins is the stomach. Okay, the first part is going to be the stomach. In the stomach, we've got this famous enzyme that is pepsin that is going to do the first stage in the digestion of protein. So in which part does protein digestion first occur? In the stomach, thanks to pepsin. In which part is most of the digestive food absorbed by blood? This one is easier. Rodrigo, could you please answer this one? Absorption of most of the food, most of the nutrients in order to pass it to the bloodstream. What is the part of the digestive tube that is going to do most of the absorption? Rodrigo, you should know this one. Esta sí. Most of the absorption by blood is going to happen in... No sabemos esta, es que no hemos estudiado. Nada. Ay, Rodrigo, Dios mío. No. We haven't said anything on the kidneys this unit because we are talking about digestive system and the kidneys are part of the excretory system. So no, it's not the kidneys. Kidneys, que por cierto tiene una Y ahí, kidneys are not doing any digestion. What they are doing is they are cleaning blood. But the question was, where were those nutrients absorbed and get into blood? That is the small intestine. Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to launch these questions as a questionnaire in your virtual class, and that is going to be your homework. Okay, so if you want to, you can do it in your photocopy, but apart from doing it in your photocopy, I'm going to launch the questionnaire so you can answer the questionnaire in the virtual class, and therefore I will know who has done it and who hasn't. That's going to be your homework. Bueno. Apart from doing this review that goes on with these activities from 28 to 30, 28, 29 and 30 is all review. I wanted to go further and do these questions 30, 31, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which are related to illness. But before doing that, we're going to have a look at the presentation on the digestive system and the illness in the digestive system, which is the one that you've got in the virtual class because it's just at the end of your presentation. That's everything that we've seen in class, all this PowerPoint presentation. We've got here how absorption occurs in the intestine. This would be the place where we have the chyle with carbohydrates, proteins, and them transformed into amino acids and monosaccharides. They pass to cells, and in the case of fats, they go directly into the lymphatic system. Well, we started the day before seeing this illness that affect the mouth, and I told you this is in page 42 in your book. You've got caries, which is tooth decay caused by the metabolic activity of bacteria living in your mouth. Then you can think of any part of your digestive system, and ending with itis, we are going to have an inflammation of these parts of the mouth. For example, we've got gingivitis as well. Does anyone know what gingivitis is? Gingivitis. ¿Os suena? ¿Alguien ha sufrido alguna vez gingivitis? That is the inflammation of the gums. Gums in Spanish, what's the Spanish for gum? Like chewing gum. ¿Qué es gum? Sara, do we study this for the presentation, the book? A ver, que espera, moflete, sencilla. Vale, creo, encilla, sí. Voy contestando todas a la vez. If you study this, cuando dices this, do you mean the unit? Or your book is not bad for all this unit. You can study that from your book, and all the information that you've got in your book has been explained in the PowerPoint presentation. So you can use your book and just your book. But as I told you, in the case of the mouth, teeth contain more information in the PowerPoint presentation that you should study using, you must study using the PowerPoint presentation. Type of teeth, mission of teeth, parts of the teeth, all that, and the dental formula, all that is not in your book, and you've got to study it. But the rest of it, you could use your book, there's no problem. In the case of the illness, which is what we are seeing right now, in your book, you just have 6 illnesses. Understanding those illnesses is enough, but I'm going to name more illness, and I'm going to name one and explain one that is important. I will do it today, and it's only in the PowerPoint presentation. I will tell you which one, right? So in your book, you just have cavities, ulcers, gastroenteritis, appendicitis, constipation, and hepatitis. Of course, all of them, you must know them, and I've got them in the PowerPoint presentation. But for example, I'm mentioning right now gingivitis, which is an infection in the gums. This is another example, just one example. Apart from these itis, we've got esophagitis. What is that? The inflammation of the esophagus. Do you need to know this illness? You do, because it's very important that this year you understand that everything ending up with itis is an inflammation. And if it says esophagitis, an inflammation in the esophagus. Do you need to know any other thing? No, just this definition. Esophagitis is an inflammation of the esophagus. Gingivitis is more difficult because most of you don't know that ginger is the gums. So I'm not going to ask you this one. I just want you to know that there's many itis. Pharyngitis, esophagitis, gastritis could be one if it's only the stomach that is inflamed, or gastroenteritis if I have more parts that are inflamed. So it's important that if I give you one term, that it's an easy one that has the same term as the beginning, you can give me this as a definition, inflammation or of whatever. okay, because we are going to see it all along the year, loads of times. Otitis, to know that there's an inflammation in your ear, conjunctivitis in your eyes. We'll see it all along the year a lot. So you must know from this year there's a lot of different itis, but not the whole definition. But I told you that today I wanted to talk about this celiac disease that is not included in your book, and I consider that because it's turning into a more and more common problem, you must know what is it all about. Celiac disease is usually caused by a problem in your immune system, and you've got an intolerance to this protein called gluten protein. This gluten protein that is included in specific foods, especially those that are that include wheat. Wheat es el trigo. They're going to generate a response in your immune system, and they are going to destroy your intestinal villi and microvilli in the intestine. So that is going to make you not being able to absorb those nutrients, and it could be very dangerous. First symptoms that you've got are diarrhea, because you're not absorbing a lot and your body wants to send that out. That is going to damage in your intestine, wants to send it out, so you're going to suffer this diarrhea. You may suffer abdominal pain. That is hurting you because it's removing part of your intestine. And the only thing you've got to do is just have a gluten-free diet, and then you're going to have a normal life. But it's important that you've got this gluten-free diet, because this illness is also related to a specific type of cancer. So this reaction of your immune system somehow could lead to the formation of a specific type of cancer. So it's important that you remove this gluten from your diet. Well, you've got this one as well, different types of ulcers. You've got it in your book. Remember that an ulcer is just a hole in an internal organ. So as any hole, it hurts, but it hurts even more if you put an acid on it. That's why these gastric ulcers in an organ in which this acid is working are very, very painful. Sometimes they are caused by this bacterium, Helicobacter pylori. I'm sure that some of you have heard about it because it's a quite common infection, and they do a test. They analyze your feces to see whether Helicobacter is present in your feces. Then you are going to receive a treatment. Can anyone tell me what the treatment could be, considering that the reason for this infection is a bacteria? What could be the treatment for this illness? How do we treat illness caused by bacteria? Using antibiotics. Perfect. So these antibiotics are going to help me. Problem. Well, there's people that when they take a lot of antibiotics, they've got problems in the digestive system. So sometimes they're going to give me two types of medicine. One that is going to protect the inner layer of the digestive system, also trying to protect this part that is affected by the ulcer, and they will also give me the antibiotic to kill the bacteria. So that's another illness that you've got in your book, and it's important. Appendicitis, and you've got in your book constipation, but you don't have the opposite, diarrhea. But everybody knows what diarrhea is. Now we already know the reason for diarrhea to appear. That is, those peristaltic movements in the large intestine are so quick, so fast, that these feces will go out without water being absorbed. I told you that this irritable bowel syndrome, we are not going to study it this year. I just wanted to include it in the photocopy, in the slides, because it's getting more and more common. It's related to stress as well. So it's getting more and more common, but I'm not going to ask you in the exam. Hepatitis, that's very important. And you don't have in your book either these gallstones that are important as well. Gallstones, they developed when biles in the gallbladder precipitates. Biles is formed by salts. If those salts precipitate, they are going to be transformed into stones. I might have stones in the kidney when urine precipitates the urea, or calcium, when calcium precipitates, when urea precipitates, different types of stones, they could form stones in the kidney, but in the gallbladder, the bile could also precipitate, forming those stones. So it's a hard material moving through a tiny tube. Remember that when we saw this connection between the gallbladder and the intestine, this is the tiny tube where bile must go through before getting into the intestine. Because these biles are stored there, they could precipitate here. They form stones. These stones are not going to hurt here. There's people having stones in the gallbladder. They don't realize they have them. They know, they realize they have them when they get an ultrasound, that is una ecografía. When they get these ultrasounds, the doctor realized they have stones in their gallbladder, but they didn't have any pain. When does it hurt? When this stone somehow try to go out and they are inside this tube, so they're going to scratch the inside of the tube, and that is very, very painful. So in case doctors discovered them in the gallbladder, they could either try to destroy them, or sometimes what they do is they just remove the gallbladder, so the liver is going to be directly connected to the intestine. And you are not going to store bile, so you are not going to form more stones, because you are not going to store it, you are going to send it little by little to the intestine. The problem is that fats are going to be emulsified in a better way if you send a lot of biles. If you do it little by little, this chyle is going to receive a little amount of bile. So it's not going to act in the same way. So what is the answer? What the doctor is going to prescribe you? A diet with no fats. Okay, I've talked a lot, and we've got an easy part right now that is not very difficult to understand. So I want you to participate a little bit more. Paula. What we're going to do right now, now that we've seen all these illness related to the digestive system, what we're going to do is think about different healthy habits. So good things that we can do that are going to help my digestive system working in the right way. So Paula, can you think of any part of your digestive system and one thing that could be good for your digestive system, that could be a healthy habit, a good thing to do to help any part of your digestive system? Paula, one example of one thing that is good for your digestive system. If you've got your microphone, it's better if you do it with microphone. Paula, are you there? Dice Paula, one good thing we could do. Si escribís frases cortitas para... I'm thinking, okay. Think about your mouth. One good thing that you can do to help your mouth being healthy. What can you do? Do not worry about your spelling. ¿Vale? Si lo escribes mal no pasa nada. One thing you can do that is good for any part of your mouth. One healthy habit that you've got related to your mouth. If you have no ideas, there's one very interesting book related to biology. Okay, brush your teeth. You can brush your teeth after each meal, and that is going to remove all the remainings of food that feed the bacteria that are responsible for the cavities. So if you do brush your teeth carefully, you're going to avoid those cavities. But apart from brushing your teeth, it's very important that you visit. You can open anyone in class can open the microphone if you feel like doing it, and just answer. Olmo, you can also help Paula. Apart from brushing your teeth, you can always visit your once a year. Is very important that you visit the dentist more than the dietist. The dentist. You can also visit someone that helps you with diets. That's important as well, to have a healthy diet. Okay, but I was referring to the dentist. But it's important, taking this comment, it's important that you've got a healthy diet. That's important for your digestive system. In which sense? Well, it's important that you have 5 meals a day. That is going to help your stomach, because if you only have 2 meals a day, what you're going to do is you're going to eat a lot of food, so in one meal, and that is going to make for your stomach, is going to make it more difficult for your stomach to do the digestion. So it's important that you do 5 meals a day, but no more than 5, because it's important that your stomach finish digestion before you put more food in. So healthy habit could be one right answer. Healthy diet as a healthy habit. But you've got to explain that this refers to 5 meals a day, these 2 reasons. Another characteristic of this healthy diet, including enough fiber. And you're going to tell me that this fiber is good for which part of your digestive system? Fiber. Olmo, que no me has contestado. Olmo, which part of your digestive system is going to be helped by this abundant fiber in your diet? Fiber, la fibra, it's very important for Olmo no me escribe. The stomach? No, a little bit farther. The intestine, okay? For the peristaltic movements in the intestine, especially, especially a large intestine, but also the small intestine. Both are going to be helped by this diet, including a lot of fiber. You could also say not taking a lot of sugar. Okay, don't worry. You could also say that not taking a lot of sugar, and then you refer it to avoiding cavities. So there are common things that you can use for every system, but you've got to explain why. Healthy diet mentioning not a lot of sugar for cavities, including fiber for the intestine, doing 5 meals a day, things like that. More things. Well, a common healthy habit that you can use for almost every system is Carmen. Can you tell me another common healthy habit for many systems? You've got it in page number 43. Tenemos. We've got healthy habits that are going to be good for many systems. We are going to use them all along the year, but we've got to explain. Carmen, we've got a lot. Don't drink alcohol, okay? Not drinking alcohol is going to be a healthy habit for this digestive system, but we are going to see it again in the excretory system, in the nervous system, okay? So there are questions that you are going to study for this exam and we are going to use in different exams. But in this case, why is it important? Well, as you said, that is going to help your stomach, but it's especially going to help your liver, because the liver is the organ that is responsible to remove the toxins present in alcohol. So if you take a lot of alcohol, you may develop hepatitis. That was the inflammation of the liver, okay? So it especially helps the liver avoiding this alcohol. Apart from avoiding drinking alcohol, in page number 43, you've got more things that we've got there. For example, Claudia, more things, more healthy habits.
Can you repeat, please?
More healthy habits that help maintaining our digestive system working in the right way. You've got it in page number 43 in your book.
I can't write in the chat.
Okay, but you can speak is better, even better.
Wait, please. Eat healthy food.
Okay, so we've already mentioned this one. Eat a healthy diet, food that is rich in fiber. We've also mentioned not drinking alcohol, brushing our teeth, visiting the doctor. What else can we do?
Do exercise.
Okay, practice a sport, do some exercise is going to be one of those healthy habits that you could mention in every unit. We're going to say it for the digestive system, respiratory system, nervous system, circulatory system. All of them are going to be helped by the practice of some sports. In the case of digestive system, is going to help, especially because your peristaltic movements work better if you've got an active life, okay? So it's important to prevent constipation, el estreñimiento. Another trick to prevent constipation is to drink a lot of water. So we must drink a lot of water in order to help these peristaltic movements in the large intestine and prevent this constipation. That's going to be a good thing. So drinking water, doing physical activity, having a healthy diet, visiting the doctor, brushing your teeth, not drinking alcohol. And then we've got some healthy habits to prevent illness. So, for example, washing our hands before preparing any type of food, that is going to be important to prevent infections. And also, when you are chewing food for a long time, that is helping the digestion in the stomach, but you are also attacking those bacteria that could be present in food. So it's important as well to prevent those infections in the stomach. So chewing food slowly, that could be another healthy habit. Okay, so as you see, this last part, illness and healthy habits, is not so difficult once you understand the digestive system. What is each organ doing? What's the order and what's the mission of each part? You're going to understand it perfectly. What are the healthy habits? Questions related to healthy habits, we've got them at the end of the unit. So we can do right now in this, we've got 3 minutes. Bueno, os he dicho que os iba a dejar. Entonces, homework. Homework is going to be activity number 26. Creo que es la 26 vuestra. Ya sabéis que nos hacemos un lío aquí con la que es aquí. Sería 27, sorry. Question number 27, that is fill in this. You're going to have it as a questionnaire in the virtual class, but it's very important that you do it in the photocopy. And I want you to do from the photocopy as well, activities 31 and 32. Okay, 31, 32 and 27.